Yes, sir.
We're coming out dangerous.
Rockets going off.
Sometimes the brightest stars shine for the shortest amount of time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They heard us all across Tallahassee after that one.
We got to bring home the W.
Oh yeah, we're going to destroy them.
Put them on the Heisman watch.
They're fine, man.
Big Ben Player of the Year.
We're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I played a little adult league goalie.
I felt like I scored in the World Cup, but I didn't even score.
Controversy? Question mark?
Pure chaos.
Go crazy was insane.
Chris Petley, he was the defensive MVP of the 2019 season.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in my prime right now. Let's go.
Alrighty, and welcome aboard here. It's been a minute. Welcome back, episode 37, Tallahassee Talk Podcast. Thanks for coming on with us. Andrew Jupe, alongside my boy Trent Young. Trent, how are we doing today, big dog?
Excellent, Jupe. We got a lot to break down. Let's get to it.
Absolutely. Let's get rocking and rolling. Of course, first match day underway. Your boys got the big 2-0 dub. What was your biggest takeaway here from the match just this past Saturday?
I think the team really showed how much depth they have and how deep they're going to be all season long. We saw a lot of kids come in, a lot of men come in, good subs towards the end of the game. Audie Jepson, one of the first ones that comes to mind. And then also, just got to go ahead and touch on it, man. Jonathan Bornstein, that was huge, dude. He had a really good game, was involved in that first goal that we'll talk about here in a second. So just excited to have him on the team and excited to see what he can bring to the team this season.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that was cool, right? And that's kind of when we talk about growing the game for TSC, that kind of comes into it. You know, you get these other players from out of the area, but also bolstering up and going against the competition for our local guys and just upping the profile of everything. And it's just really cyclical. And we kind of see it year after year after year, just kind of feeding the beast. But yeah, as we kind of get into it, Trent, we talk about it. Match day 1, question mark with Miami. How do you think the boys performed on the field going against an opponent that we really knew nothing about? 1, because they were in the another conference. 2, as we talked about during the pregame in that match, they had such an overhaul of their, I think, 28-man roster. Two of their players from last year came back. So 26 new guys. So we had absolutely no idea of how that would kind of boil out. But what was your biggest on-field takeaway?
I mean, they clearly don't really have the chemistry that some of these TSC players have playing in the summer and stuff. You can tell that it's a new roster. So I think they'll get better as the season goes on. But it definitely looked like they were just kind of getting used to each other's tendencies and not really gelling and meshing as well as they probably will in another week or two. So I think we got a little lucky on that front. They'll probably be more difficult when we've got to go down there to Miami and play them later this season. But, you know, we'll take it week 1, man.
Yeah, of course, that's kind of the end cap of our season. So we'll start the season with them and the regular season with them. Sorry, Trent. And then we'll kind of go forward from there, of course, with the weird scheduling quirks. So as we get back into it, what's your feeling around the club? Let's talk general kind of topic statement, and then we'll kind of, as we go through, we can support it a little bit and kind of weave in and out of some narratives. But what's your kind of implication of where we are with the squad right now?
Sure. I think right now we've really got to prove ourselves in our sub-conference or in our division. We've got Pensacola and New Orleans that have had our number quite a few times over the last few seasons. You've got Columbus, new kids on the block, but they're obviously going to be tough as well. We played them 3 times. So I think really you just got to have to prove with the schedule. We're only playing Miami one more time, and everybody else in our division is the remainder of the schedule. So I think, you know, you come out of that with a few wins, maybe a couple draws on the road. And I think you'll be able to see that this team's being able to gain some momentum. And then once we do go into the playoffs, we play somebody like Naples or Jacksonville, that we'll be able to actually hold our own, kind of like we did in that Southern States playoff game last year. You saw the team kind of grow as the season progressed. And I think that we're not quite there yet, but I think that this is a really good start for the Battle Line so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It just, of course, with a new team, every single year you have to reestablish that chemistry. And so it's kind of good and bad because this year we're a little later into the season that we start actual games. And so it gives them a little more time on the front end. But still, you don't have as much game experience as typically we'd be going into match week 4 at this point. But we're only going into match week 2, only 2 official contests on the deck so far, Trent. So it's still – you talked about it for Miami, but for me, from my perspective, you know, that was very visible from TSC. We're still trying to elevate to that point as well. as we go forward here with the battle against Columbus on Saturday. But I think you could see some moments of brilliance shining through of that, and you could see kind of little starting points all over the place, right, on many different levels of what you can be excited about for TSC this season. So what's one thing, I guess, that you're excited about, kind of that one of your two positive takeaways here for TSC going forward?
I think right now, today, I'm just excited that we're getting the Sac State guys in. I'm really excited to see how that translates into match day 2. How many of those guys make the 18? How many of those guys start, if any? So just really excited to see how they're going to fit into this roster.
Yeah, for sure. And you talk about the lineage. And so this is where we talk about progressing the game, right? As we kind of bring this in. So you have positive relationships that we've had and we've built. So you talk about Alejandro Padilla, our Sacramento State guy from last year. And then he gets back and he's talking with these other guys and these teammates of like, hey, because they get the call or they start asking about it. Hey, how's your summer? Start comparing notes, right? And then the rumor's out. TSC is a hot ticket right now. So everybody's trying to jump on this train. So last year we had one Sacramento State Hornet. Now we got a whole swarm of Hornets here, Trent. 4 of them coming in. We got Jared Wilcott, Robert Wilcott. We've got Cody Sunquist. We've got Ali coming in as well, Sasanka. And it's going to be a really exciting blend, as you can see the guys on the screen right there. They should bring some intensity and, of course, some upgraded, once again, talent. And I think the tough call is on Coach Joel right now, Trent, is because when you look at it, he's got to figure out, okay, how do I get this roster and how do I get an 18 out of this mix, man? Because it seems like it's absolutely loaded this year on talent wise. What's your takeaway from that?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like we're used to having a lot of Thomasville guys, right? Like we've always got 3, 4, 5, 6 of those guys on the roster. But now you're branching out and you're getting Sac State guys, 3, 4 guys there as well. And so we've only got 18 that we can put in jerseys and suit up to play on Saturdays and Wednesdays and Sundays. But yeah, man. So like, I'm just really excited to see how they're able to bring the flavor and the style of play that they have out there into this roster. And like you said, kind of that overlap and how cyclical it can be with these players coming back in to the fold and bringing new ones.
Absolutely. You talk about some of the Thomasville guys. Like we say, this is going to be a common theme. TSC is like a virus. It's just like getting in there, it's spreading, but in the best possible way. So, of course, you had Lucas Leyva in here last year, Diego Azar in there last year. All of a sudden, we start to see a goalkeeper, Jorge Gonzalez, Joe Warren, now coming into the mix for this TU connection. And like we said, Tallahassee's always been solid about having a relationship with TU, so love having to continue to grow that. But like we said, this train keeps a rolling, man, and some exciting new additions here. So both of these guys played out on last Saturday. What were your quick kind of reactions to the gameplay here?
I thought Warren did an incredible job sending balls through the midfield and winning them in the midfield to be able to send them forward. That was kind of a surprise because that was his first battle line game. So, had no idea what kind of player we were going to get. And we get this massive 6'2", 6'3" guy in the midfield just holding everything down. So that was really cool. And then a great game from Gonzalez in goal. He was able to come up, play with his feet a lot. There was one time where I think he headed the ball out probably about 5-10 yards outside of the box. So kind of rolled the dice a little bit, but it worked out and it paid off. So good stuff from him in the first game. So I don't know if he's going to be our keeper going forward for the rest of the season or if he was just filling in. We're waiting on some more reinforcements to show up. So that'll be always fun watching the goalkeeper battle here for the Tallahassee Battle Lions, Jude.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's always been one of the strong points I feel of the team. Go back to year one, for some of the OGs, Hugo Peruzzi, who won, I think, goalkeeper of the conference back in the GCPL. You talk about Cam, you talk about Bosco, you talk about Grant, you talk about Mark, you talk about basically anybody you want to throw in the mix there has been fun to watch and been successful. So it's cool to see Jorge. And it's going to be a competition. So we'll have a couple guys. And we saw it last year. If you're playing well and you're killing it in practice, like Cam was, Coach Joel is going to let that ride, man, until other news is kind of brought to the table. But so I'm really excited for him. An adventurous goalkeeper, so nothing short of excitement there from Gonzalez. He was fun to watch. But let's get back to the game a little bit here as we kind of go for it. Trent, we want to show some of these goals, or what are we thinking?
Yeah, we can go
the game action, or you want to talk about them a little bit? Big 2-0 victory, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. So we go into the half, it's 0-0, and then about 12 minutes later, into the 57th minute, we were able to get a throw on the near side. Bornstein was able to start the attack right at about midfield, was able to throw it forward. We won another throw from, I think it was Audie, and then Audie throws it down to Johnny, and then Johnny plays it back into Audie, and then Audie's fouled. So Audie Jepson was able to earn the penalty early on, and we were able to get our first goal-scoring chance off of that.
Yeah, so here we go. We're going to start with the throw-in. So we got Bornstein getting us rocking and rolling here. But then look at the pace right here. Like you were saying, boom, quick throw, let's go. Dangerous position. Here's our boy Johnny. Boom, Jepson gets taken down. Okay, how about that?
And then Warren.
Though? The Jepson takedown was wild. As we kind of go back here, let's throw it. See if we can throw this into slow-mo a little bit, Trent.
There you go.
As we go 0.5 speed. So you see Jepson coming to the screen. Boom. Forearm to the back. Take him down. Oh, I thought Warren had it.
Keeper just gets a finger or two on it to keep it out. That was crazy. We thought it was a goal. But, yeah, ends up getting the penalty there.
So, of course, we can fast forward here to the penalty. We don't need to keep it here on half speed the whole time. As we go through here, of course, blah, blah, blah. We got Vivas. He's ready to go. So, of course, Johnny hands it off to Vivas. No argument to be had here with TSC. And we'll let our boy take it away from here. Boom. Buried it. No doubt. No doubt. So that was cool. Of course, part of the Spanish Armada, Jose Vivas, one of those Evansville guys, able to crease the sheet for himself. So his first TSC goal, Trent, which is super cool. But, of course, your boys weren't done. There was more in store.
Yep. Right at about looks like the 69th minute mark.
So set this up for us, Trent. Give us the kind of preview as I get kind of caught up here.
Yeah, so Bornstein receives the pass on the near sideline, about the 35, 40-yard line, and got into a pretty physical battle, was able to win the ball, and he wanted the foul from the ref. He was pleading his case, but ref said play on, and Johnny gets the ball, sends it up to Warren. Warren sends it out wide to Ethan Stewart, and then Ethan tries to play it down real quick to Audie Jepson. And it's kicked out for a for a corner kick from TSC. So that's how we were able to get down there.
Yeah, so as you can see it live, so now Ethan's going to set up. So this is interesting to see, too, because this is not something that we saw preseason. Ethan taking those far side lefty corners. So that's something to note. But so you see 4 battle lines in the box. You see Warren looks like he's about to go back post Trent, but then what happens?
Then Johnny checks near post. Nobody marks him. He's just kind of wandering around in the box and just last second runs over there to Ethan. Quick little 1-2 back to Ethan. The rest is history.
Ooh-wee. That's a thing of beauty right there, dude. Little icy finish from the stone cold stunner, Ethan Stewart. Yeah, that was nasty. That was some good stuff. So that's your two goals, man. Of course, had to build up to get that first one. Obviously, the PK, able to pay it off, so that was huge. But on the second part, just kind of open play, able to cash it in. Big 2-0 victory. So as of today, Trent, where does that leave your boys here in the standings?
Top of the table?
No big deal. So. I think so.
Couple games in hand.
As we could get it to here, yeah, 1 game in, but of course we are a points per match league. So you can see 1 game, 1 victory, and well, your boys jumped at the top of the table. Obviously, some other big results here recently. It seems that Global Soccer Pathways seems to be kind of the beaten horse of the league right now, Trent. And from what I hear, I had heard preseason that they're going to look like a GCPL team or a GCPL 2 team. And so far, that seems to be the mix, as basically they are a Naples United B team, for those who've been tuning into the podcast. Yeah, so they've lost 8-0 and 7-0 in their first 2 contests. So not a hot start for Global Soccer Pathways.
It's really unfortunate we don't get to play them this season, huh?
yeah. That's why I'm worried, or I'm glad that they don't go off goal differential as far as the early tiebreaker. I think it'll come in later down the road. It's mostly head to head as far as playoffs are concerned. But because we don't get the luxury of playing them. But no. Naples gets to play them 3 times. Somebody else gets to play them 3 times. Those other guys get to play them twice. That's 15 goals right there. Help bolster that goal differential. But yeah, that's the table. So any kind of surprises of the table so far? Obviously, it's early. Some teams playing more than others.
No, that seems about right. I feel like Miami is going to be one of the worst teams, just above GSP. Pensacola, Columbus, New Orleans, I feel like, that's a complete toss-up. I feel like our conference, I wouldn't be surprised if any of the 4 teams won. So that all seems right. And then Jacksonville right there, too, behind us, which is just funny. But we'll see how long we can hold on to that. Hopefully it's another week at least, but I'm loving it for now.
Hopefully so. And yeah, that's the thing is, as you kind of look at the results. So Naples got the big draw in Jacksonville, had Jacksonville on the ropes really the whole game, should have won that game. Kind of going back, it seemed Naples the better squad there. But, that's the beautiful game, Trent, love it or not. And then on the other side, we saw a 3-3 tie with Columbus and New Orleans. It was just a wild fireworks show.
Yeah, it was.
Out in the Big Easy. And, of course, as you can see, kind of the league schedule as we go for a whole, obviously we have Columbus coming to town, and that'll be our big showcase here this weekend, Trent. But I know you were kind of getting into the film deep there for Columbus and New Orleans. What were some of your takeaways, or what are some things we can kind of watch for, or maybe we're able to exploit here for this Columbus team, which is largely unknown despite playing already 2 games in the conference. They lost to Naples on the road 1-0, and then on the road at New Orleans got the tie. So only 1 point from them, but that's a tough way to start the season, going on an 8-hour road trip and then a 7-hour road trip. Welcome to the conference, right?
No kidding, dude. No, they're going to be tough, man. So I don't think we're going to walk over them at all this weekend. But the main guy, the main man that we need to mark this week is going to be Rafa Kawada. So he scored the first goal that they had, and then had an incredible assist where he took the ball on the run, was able to see the run far side of the pitch, completely switched the ball, perfectly weighted pass. It was like curving away from the goalkeeper, but onto his man. It was pure class, and just had an easy one-touch finish off the half volley back into an open net. So he's going to be really dangerous. He had a great finish, too, in the first half as well. So they were able to go up 2-1 on the road. And then New Orleans battles back. They get 2 back. So they're up 3-2 in like the 87th minute. And then in stoppage time, they were able to get a free kick right on the edge of the box, and was able to pull some magic and get a couple headers past the goalkeeper off a deflection. So it was a crazy, crazy game out there in New Orleans. Hopefully they don't have that same magic this week at the Gene. But it's definitely going to be a tough little road trip for them coming down on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they're our closest scheduled opponent, of course, because we will not play Jacksonville in the regular season. Could potentially see them in the playoffs if both of us get through, which I think we both kind of assume, kind of hope. Obviously, it's kind of a grab bag, like you said, our division, a lot unknown. And I think New Orleans is going to be up from last year. They missed the playoffs, which I think they're pissed about. And I think Pensacola is going to be solid as well. They're always weird to figure out. They lose, they get beat bad by teams that you feel like they should hang with. And then, I mean, we haven't beaten them. We can't beat them.
Dude, I was going to say, they beat the crap out of us every year somehow. We can't win the 850 Cup. It doesn't even exist anymore. They're just champions forever of that. So
It technically does exist, and we will carry on the mantle, but it just has morphed into the two of us. And so we basically are just kicking the roots out is what happened. But, I mean, that's on them. They quit or they went broke. Either way, we don't know which one it is, so that's kind of on them. The A50 Cup will prevail. But, yeah, I guess any kind of other thoughts as we kind of get forward here. We kind of want to keep this as a quick hitter here today. But as we get forward to match day 2, anything surrounding the team or anything that you're interested about?
I don't have anything else. Nope, that's it, man.
Rock and roll. Like we said, some Sacramento State guys may be in the mix here. Of course, the intensity increasing, but make sure to come down to the Gene. We'll have an excitement if you want to be able to get down there or you want to know what's going on. This is, of course, who we got. We'll have Columbus here on the table, but looking forward to it. You got to get those tickets because those tickets are going to be key. So here you go. Trying to work through these technical quirks here. I got all my things out of order. Come on down to the Gene. Only $10 for adults. 13 and under kids get in free. It's always a blast. The best attended games in the conference. The crowd at the Gene always brings the heat, and it should be a really fun atmosphere for an opponent you might as well get used to now because this is going to be the first of 3 times that we'll see them this season.
Gotta love that schedule.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, League. Thank you, League, in the beautiful Gulf Coast, Sunshine, Orange State, Coastal Beach Conference that we're in here with the League. So, Trent, having said that, I think we're good to put a bow on this one, big dog. Thank you for coming aboard, watchers, listeners, however you may be doing so. And for Trent Young, keep it real, be well.